saying. Look at you. It's like you all called each other. You're in the same color palette.
Yeah,
Oops, we went
fall
vibe.
vibe.
It's like 80. Cece, it's like 85 degrees.
I know,
outside.
right? It's definitely July. Hey, thanks so much for joining us here for KROE 11 News at noon. It's a beautiful day today, but we're keeping an eye out on how that weather is going to be tomorrow, especially maybe impacting your 4th of July plans. Cece, that includes some changes to fireworks shows.
Yeah, a lot of changes. We're already seeing some altered plans. I've got the info from city leaders coming up.
But first, let's go ahead and get a look at what we know so far, John.
Yes, I already got the call from Nicole. The fireworks tonight in Waconia are tonight, not tomorrow, so it looks like I'm not sleeping tonight. 81 degrees out there right now. It is going to be sunny right now. What a great day. It'd be phenomenal if this was tomorrow, but it's not, and that's, of course, going to be the big story here. Dew points are actually relatively low, so it's not too hot, not too humid. 82 in St. Cloud, Brainerd Lakes area. You guys are at 77 on your way to the low 80s. I think maybe middle 80s here in Twin Cities. Not a whole lot going on. Satellite and radar is not broken. There's just really nothing out there. So today is straight sun, middle 80s around the metro. Winds are going to be out of the west here today at around 10 to 15 miles per hour, and then kind of drifting off into the 70s tonight. An absolutely perfect night there for fireworks. 9:30, be 75 degrees, so perfect. You could probably even roll some shorts by the time the fireworks are done. If you're out there tonight, you might want a long sleeve shirt, light jacket, but still 70s, not too bad. Temperatures in the low to mid 80s. Like I said, Brainerd Lakes, you should hit 80. Here's the problem. We've got an excessive rainfall outlook. They only issue these for times when you're expecting well over an inch, and that is for the 4th. We'll track this and time it all out for you in your forecast.
John, thank you. And we know city leaders will certainly be keeping an eye on both the weather and in some cases the flooding conditions when it comes to making decisions about tomorrow night's fireworks. Cece, I know there's already been some changes. We've been trying to make some, changes as well for our plans.
Yeah, this afternoon I've got good news and bad news. The bad news, some popular 4th events are canceled. Eden Prairie just canceled their July 4th event. Over in Stillwater, the city canceled its fireworks. Floodwaters are receding over in Stillwater, but now we're seeing that the park where they have those fireworks is underwater, so that's a no-go. The good news, though, some cities are still trying to make 4th festivities work. In Excelsior, the rain has pushed fireworks up to tonight at dusk. Same deal over in Waconia, like John was talking about, fireworks are tonight at dusk. We just learned Prior Lake rescheduled to tonight at 10 p.m. Chanhassen fireworks postponed to next week on Friday the 12th, actually. That's at 10. In Minneapolis, things are kind of up in the air for the Red, White, and Boom event. Officials might have to cancel it entirely or partially. They'll decide by tomorrow for sure. Now back to Stillwater. Water levels were pretty high along the St. Croix River. There could be a long road ahead cleanup-wise. The mayor there saying it could be the end of August before their 4th of July celebrations are rescheduled, Alexis.
Oh man, Cece, thank you so much. At the Rapidan Dam south of Mankato, the current is still eating away at the riverbed, supporting the County 9 bridge. That's where Governor Walz stopped yesterday. He also met privately with the Hruska family who lost their home when it fell into the Blue Earth River.
First 3 days, probably, you're wondering if your house is going to be there when you wake up in the morning, then the house goes, and then you worry the same thing about the store. And now our buildings are all gone, so sleeping a little better, but you still are worried about our future,
Yes, they were on the same lot as the Dam store, which had stood since 1910 and been in the Hruska family for 52 years. When it became clear the store would fall into the river, the county bought the building and demolished it. The Hruska's plan is to rebuild in the same river valley. We're taking a live look at I-35W northbound, and holiday traffic picks up this afternoon. Audrey Russo shows us when you should head out to avoid the rush.
Time is ticking. You've got about 2 hours until you hit the busiest travel window for what could be record traffic for the 4th of July holiday. That's all according to AAA. They're predicting that more than 60 million Americans are going to be driving to their holiday getaways this year. That's 2.8 million more than last year. Road safety analytics company INRIX has been crunching the numbers too, and this year they say that your best bet is to avoid driving today and Sunday, July 7th, between the hours of 2 and 7 p.m. And if you're headed up north, it may actually behoove you to wait to fill up until you're outside of the metro. Take a look at the gas prices at this Holiday gas station in St. Paul. You can see they're charging $3.49 per gallon of gas. That's a little bit more than AAA's average for the metro, which is about $3.40, $3.45 per gallon of gas. But when you look at the entire statewide average, it's closer to $3.30. So context clues being what they are, the further away from the cities you go, the less you'll pay. And you can actually save money on gas and be safe at the same time. Experts say that once you hit 50 miles an hour, every 5 miles an hour over the speed limit you go will actually cost you between 20 and 30 extra cents per gallon. So drive slow, be safe. It's what the founding fathers would have wanted. Back to you.
Audrey, thank you. And today is also one of the peak travel days if you're heading to the airport. MSP officials are reminding travelers to get to the airport at least 2 hours before your flight. Right now, they're reporting about 16 cancellations and nearly 30 delays. Parking is available at both terminals, and the security wait times are under 15 minutes. Well, we have new details about the night 2 Burnsville police officers and a firefighter paramedic lost their lives in the line of duty. In the last 24 hours, the Dakota County attorney released her review of the incident. It states that 3 Burnsville officers were justified in firing their weapons at the shooter, Shannon Gooden. The review mentioned that Shannon fired more than 100 rounds at officers. That report also goes on to detail about what happened inside of the home before officers arrived. You can read more at KARE11.com.
News from the Supreme Court is leading us to take a deeper look at e-cigarette use here in Minnesota. Justices are prepared to take up a case over whether the FDA went too far by blocking some companies from marketing flavored e-cigarettes. A lower court sided with vape companies that said it denied more than 1 million applications to market sweet flavored nicotine products, saying they basically banned anything that didn't taste like tobacco. The FDA says those products, quote, pose a serious, well-documented risk of drawing young people in to using nicotine. Here in Minnesota, the health department says young people who vape are growing more and more dependent on nicotine. New numbers from the Minnesota Department of Health show almost 80% of students who vape said they experienced at least one sign of dependence. That includes cravings or reaching for a vape without even thinking about it. The survey from 2023 says about half of students who vaped in the past month said they did so at least 20 of those days. 7 out of 10 students who vape say they want to quit. On a positive note, MDH says teen vaping is declining overall.
After a rainy night, if you head outside today, you may notice a number of mosquitoes are starting to tick back up. I definitely noticed it last night. Even with the wet start of summer, the numbers are still well below average in the metro. The Metropolitan Mosquito Control District says 3 years of drought probably helped keep the numbers lower. Experts say mosquitoes usually peak right about now in the first week of July, but they say that they likely won't see that this year. We are continuing to follow the damage left in the path of Hurricane Beryl. The rain is now expected to hit Jamaica, prompting flooding concerns. NBC's Sam Brock has more.
These are the breathless moments right now before Hurricane Beryl either makes direct landfall over the island of Jamaica or comes very close to it. The National Hurricane Center not exactly sure which of those 2 outcomes it's going to be, and that is a significant difference as you have conversations with locals here, and they tell you the last time that Jamaica took a direct hit from a major hurricane was Hurricane Gilbert back in the late 1980s, and it changed life as they know it. Will that repeat itself right now? The latest from the ground here, the Prime Minister of Jamaica declared the entire island a disaster area last night. He implemented a curfew from 6 a.m. until 6 p.m., and he gave the green light to authorized officers to evacuate low-lying areas, although as of early evening yesterday, there were no evacuations underway. There are hundreds of shelters potentially available to residents, but at this hour, it's not exactly clear how many of them are even open. As you look over my shoulder right now, you see all these homes, plenty in the hills that look like they've had pretty decent construction. Folks here say that they have prepared for this moment with steel and concrete, the foundations in Jamaica really deep below the ground because there are so many hurricanes, but the roofs, they worry, could fly right off. And as you look around me, you'll see some homes that don't look like they're constructed solidly enough to necessarily withstand 130, 140 mile per hour winds. Conversations with folks on the ground as well say their biggest concern right now, loss of power and loss of telecommunications. They're not necessarily worried about the buildings, but putting that aside for a second, look at what has already happened across the Caribbean. You have Grenada and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Those islands look like, in some cases, just absolute distant versions of what they used to be, as there are huge pockets of homes shredded. So many there. On one island, according to the Prime Minister of Grenada, you have 90% of all homes either destroyed or severely damaged. Can that repeat here? Obviously, folks here in Jamaica don't necessarily have that level of concern yet. It's sort of part of the island DNA, if you will, not to get too worried about anything. But right now, everyone's antennas are up as we know that this system, this historic Hurricane Beryl, it is the strongest hurricane ever so far at this point of the season, is prepared right now to bear its grips down on the island of Jamaica. And folks here are just standing by to see what's happening. We'll be on top of all of it throughout the day. Sam Brock, NBC News.
And of course, seeing all those images, I mean, my goodness, very sobering. It's dangerous weather to our south and in our area. We're also keeping an eye on some storms that could impact tomorrow's plans, John.
Yeah, I mean, obviously tomorrow, one of the biggest outdoor days of the year. We got to time out what could even be a flooding risk once we go into the night into Friday morning. So a busy forecast coming up.
And right after that, Cece is taking us on a walk through the Mid-City Farmers Market, a look at the goodies you can pick up.